I need to tell you something I have never said publicly. I did everything the world told me to do. I quit my job. I went back to school. I tried to level up. Yet nothing changed. It was the same cycle, the same panic attack. And in the middle of every month, by the 14th, I'm already counting when the next paycheck is coming through. I rallied around the routine of society. I did everything. When I tell you I did everything imaginary wise, mentally wise, psychologically wise, educational wise. I was meant to do. Yet nothing changed. And I'm here to tell you, it wasn't about the economy. It wasn't about the society. It was something closer. I worked in finance for 2.5 years. On paper, everything looked perfect. Now, what am I talking about? A stable income, a respectable role. It looked like the picture perfect role for a young lady who is striving to the next level. But in reality, in my honesty, I was stuck. I was not broke, but I wasn't progressing. I felt stagnant for that season. I felt it wasn't enough. Why am I in finance? But yet I am still stuck. So like every other person, I convinced myself and I quit my job. I went back to school. I said, no, I needed a reset, and this is a reset. After this level of education, I am gonna thrive. I'm gonna do better. Once again, no, it was a dream. It was the same story, different environment, but same pressure. I mean, different continents in a uniform structured environment, still enviable. But the story wasn't changing. I was still stuck. Financially, I didn't feel like I was progressing. In fact, I felt my lowest at this level. A bit of disappointment, but for some reason, I kept saying to myself, something gotta work. Something must work. So I kept searching and searching. Now, I've gone back to school to obtain the qualification to, even if I'm not practicing finance, but then to be able to apply the principles and what I studied to myself. Yet it wasn't working. So I realized, no, it wasn't a system problem. It wasn't education. The problem was me. That's truly. I was the problem. I was the only person denying my progress. I was the only person who had imprisoned my financial growth and development. It was on me. All fingers that I had pointed back at me because I tried all the many things that I needed to try. Still not working. Do I still blame anyone? No. The fingers were pointing at me. Now, here is the part nobody warns you about. I had to sit down, had a bit of a reflection, and then I came to a realization. And this is the point many people do not get to. The reason is because there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of distraction, there's a lot of a blame game here and there, especially if you come from a deprived home. You have the many reasons why you are where you find yourself. And so that moment of reflection, that setback, when you pull back, you relax when no one is watching. And if you have a mirror in front of you, please, by all means, you need to use the mirror to do this exercise. Because you need to talk to the inner bit of you, a deeper side where no one is actually watching. And that is the exercise that I practice. And that is why making money is actually spiritual, because it is something that is not seen. It is something that is envisioned quietly. If you even receive a vision from God, it is still not seen. So it is a quiet movement. And when you embrace that vision, it is still a quiet movement, because that is what no one is hearing. The moment the world hears of the vision that is not birth is a flawed one. Yes, take that from me. It is a flawed one. So it was that season of reflection when nobody was watching. It was just me, my soul, and my God at work. That is what was taking place. But at this juncture, I moved into an ambience of truth. Because if I'm able to lie to you because of the aesthetics and what you see concerning me, The one thing I couldn't do at that moment was to lie to myself and my God and the season that I found myself in. And during this reflection, I realized what was holding me back was my lifestyle, the kind of decisions I was taking with money, the things that I did that satisfied the society, that satisfied the people around me, that didn't impact me. These were some of the things that were holding me back. Buying things without intention, trying to look like I had it together, trying to belong instead of what actually made sense for my life. The scripture says a man without self-control is like a city broken into without walls. And that was me. No boundaries, no discipline, no structure. That was all me. The joke was on me. I was entirely responsible for my back and forth. And that is when everything snapped into focus, because nothing changes without you. Not your salary, not your environment, not the job, not the role, not your specialization. Nothing changes without you. It is all on you. And once again, it was on me. So I stopped, and for a whole calendar month, I decided to study the department of YAT, moi. I decided to study my habits and what I do. And I realized at the end of the month, I was in debt. At the end of the month, what I had actually spent was not equal to what I had coming in. I was ahead of my future. Once again, I studied my habits, my thinking, my patterns. And so I started building pillars. Pillars like discipline, structure, being aware of myself, understanding the environment I find myself, and exercising the power of no. I stopped living on autopilot. I stopped copying what everyone else was doing. I stopped chasing a life that wasn't mine. Proverbs says the prudent gives thought to their steps, and for the first time in my life, I did. It was me. I really thought deeply about my decisions. I seeked and I impacted myself. Now, everything I studied was beginning to make sense because my mindset shift had taken place. I was ready to move to the next level. I was ready to plan the future. And that is when I realized something important. Reflection is powerful, but reflection without a system sets you back and leads you backwards. And so what did I do? I built one. I built a system. And I lived by the system. And today I am humbled to introduce this system to you. If you want to tap into the system, just comment system or comment budget in this comment section and I'll send it to you free of charge. You don't need to pay me for anything, but you can say thank you, YAT. This system is practical. It is step by step. It works if you stick diligently to this system. See, regardless of what I tell you to do with a little that you have, without a system, we get nowhere. That is why it is imperative that we have a certain scope that guides us, not just a theory, something that practically can work with you, regardless of the level you find yourself. You may be doing well. You may be doing less for yourself at the moment, but that is why this scope is really one top notch, because regardless of where you find yourself, you centralize and align with this system and you rise to the next level. It needs one thing from you though. Your diligence and commitment is what this system needs. Once you match that with the system, you fly out. This is what changed my life. A clear path, not vibes. A system that changed my life, and today it is impacting a lot of lives. Everyone that I have worked with has gone through this system. If you send that email to yatfinance25@gmail.com, I promise you, you will go through this system. Before we do any other thing, you go through the system because we need a little bit of a shift in all the part of your life. Every department that you hold, we need to have a shift in this department. And so you would definitely go through this system. And I call this the YAT Finance Budget System. You will need to align with this system before we do any other thing, because that is the beginning of change If you are tired of guessing with your money, if you are tired with surviving, if you are tired with just holding the peace to the end of the month where you do a reset and then you bounce back on the same cycle, then this is the system that you require. Once again, drop me a message in the comment section, type system or budget, and I will send this to you free of charge. Like I said, if you need a one-on-one, whichever service that I render, and you send an email to yatfinance25@gmail.com, I promise you, you will not skip the system. This is one you go through. Once again, your diligence and you aligning with it will take you to the next level. Now, let me be honest with you. I am not here to give you a checklist. I'm here to provide something deeper than the ordinary. You see, that is why on YAT Finance, I keep saying we redefining finance. Almost 99% of everything I give you is something I practice. If I talk about investing, it's because I'm an investor. If I talk about the asset classes, it's because I invest in these asset classes. If I talk about your network and how your network can take it to the next level, it's because I have chosen to surround myself with people who lift me up to the next level. Why? I have been on the ground. I have been through the faith, and I have been through a lot of societal norms, which was normal. Because to do well in life, you go a little bit above normality. You don't do normal things. You go above normal, beyond normal, in exceptionality. Then we can talk about you measuring yourself to a certain yardstick. That I have been through. So once again, the audacity for me to introduce that to you. If I talk about you going into rental because, well, I am in. If I talk about you going into properties, it's because I'm in. If I talk about anything I give you, one, I bring you experience. Two, practicality. And then what actually works with your environment, with regulations. That is what we are talking about. Therefore, if you can actually sit down and reflect on yourself, now I am talking about your life. You know your season and speak truth to yourself. You will know where you are. You identify your season. You will know that, no, this mood I'm in, it is a survival mood. I need to adjust, put this gear into a gear 2 and move on, step on the accelerator a little bit. Well, in a bit of carefulness, ensuring that you are safe to be able to step on the accelerator. A journey that can take you 10 years can also take you 5 years. It is dependent on the route and the measures. Once again, a system in place. That is what will differentiate you from the masses. Growth doesn't start outside. It starts from the moment you say to yourself, now this is not working. I need a change. And that change I need is not tomorrow. That change is now. You ensuring you are putting measures in place. You ensuring there is a system in place with you. That is when growth begins to be visible. Once again, the only time you see the glory of God is after hard work. It's after systems. It's after you've done your part. Your 9 to 5 is not a problem. It is your foundation. But what you build on top of it is on you. Therefore, if you fail to build, that is your problem. And until you take ownership, nothing changes. Always remember that by wisdom, a house is built. And through understanding, it is established. And it is the same with our lives. Apply these principles to your life. A bit of a reflection, ensuring you have embraced a system. God will take you to the next level. By all means, do me the honor and watch this video if you haven't, where we talk about the asset classes, an impactful one that will change the narrative. God bless you. I root for you. I'm that person who prays for every subscriber. If you haven't subscribed to this platform, please do me the honor, subscribe. And this is YAT Finance. I'll see you in the next.